All right, ladies. Hey. So I have a question. What is some advice that you would give to the 12-year-old you?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely tell my 12-year-old self that life is a journey. It's a process, Don't rush. Don't rush to fall in love or have a boyfriend. And it's okay to be unique or weird. That's actually what makes you you. And the more that you accept yourself, the more others will accept you too.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I would tell myself that my greatest strength lies in being authentic. And that when you are authentic, you also give other people the permission and the freedom to be their authentic selves as well. And that everyone is a lot like you in terms of wanting that acceptance and to fit in. And so don't feel so different or so alone.
Why is it making me cry? I'm like even like real.
Yeah, and I would tell my 12-year-old self that being unique, I think this is most important, that being unique and being weird is probably the greatest gift you'll ever receive. And so that's the one thing you do not want to throw away.
Yes. Aw, I could just imagine you like giving your 12-year-old you a hug and just sitting there and be like, listen, so.
Like, come on, girl.
I'm gonna give her a hug too.
Right. Let's give Brittany's 12-year-old self a hug.
Right.
Some love. She needed it.
Okay.
I went through a lot, but
yeah. Well, how about you, Quayla?
I would probably tell my 12-year-old self to get out of your head and let people in. It's okay to be friendly and nice and welcoming. I would tell her it's okay to be smart, because I feel like I was hiding being smart. I don't know. Like, I got inducted into the National Honor Society. I didn't even go.
What?
Yeah, like I didn't go. Like I don't know what was up with me. I don't know. I think I wanted to fall so far in the background that I wasn't seen, but at the same time, I wanted to be noticed. I don't know how you get that, but yeah, I would definitely tell myself it's okay just to embrace every part of you. Absolutely. And whatever that looks like or however it comes out, be unapologetically you.
That's right.
Yes.
But I really, really resonate with that, because even as a young girl, I know exactly what you mean. It's like you wanted the recognition, but at the same time you didn't, because for me it was scary. Because when you're in the spotlight, the truth is that there are going to be people that love you, but there will also be people that hate you. And I didn't think I could deal with that.
Yeah, I think people's opinions of you quite a lot, especially when you're younger.
At 12, yes. And I probably weighed like 80 pounds or less. I don't think I even got to 100 pounds until I was in 9th grade.
That's really weird, because I was actually a lot bigger than people. Like the size that I am now, I'm not much bigger than I was when I was 10 or 11 years old. Like, to be honest with you, it's like I started out being larger than other people, and then I just stopped growing.
Yeah. So you had an early growth spurt.
I did. I really did.
Okay.
But what about you? What would you tell your 12-year-old self?
I think one of the big things I would tell my 12-year-old self is that, you know, you have a very big heart, and that's great, but don't compromise your needs for the sake of pleasing other people. And I think that's a big one for me. I've always been like a nurturer at heart. Like I want people to be happy. I want people around me to be happy, you know, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. It's probably one of my biggest strengths, but for a long time I had allowed it to be one of my greatest weaknesses, because anytime like I would get into a relationship with someone, or even like relationships among peers or family members, a lot of times I kept silent. I kept quiet when something distressed me, or, you know, something I didn't feel comfortable or whatever, simply because I didn't want the other person to be upset, or I didn't want to make the other person feel somehow or whatever, you know. So I put a lot of my own needs on the back burner. And it was funny because, you know, for a long time, especially in relationships, I would be really upset because I would exit these relationships feeling so frustrated that I put my all into them. And I constantly felt put on the back burner by these guys. But the truth of the matter was I put myself on the back burner. And that gave this open permission for them to do the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At 12?
No, like not at 12, but now, recently.
Okay.
My life kind of growing up, you know, so that's
and adapted into that.
I would tell my 12-year-old self is like, it's great that you have a big heart, but
nip it in the bud right now.
Yeah, nip it in the bud right now. Like, don't allow yourself to be pushed aside just because you want other people to be happy and comfortable and things like that, you know? So that's probably honestly the biggest thing that I would tell myself. That, and I would probably tell myself to just be a little bit more open, I guess, when it comes to other people's emotions, because I was very empathic growing up. And I didn't realize, for a long time, I didn't realize that I would have this thing of lashing out at people whenever there was too much, whenever the emotions were too heavy. It felt like you were getting backed into a corner.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't really understand it so much as empathy. I mean, I knew the basicness of empathy, but I didn't understand that, you know, feeling everybody else's emotions so heavily can affect me to the point where I can explode because I don't know how to handle what I'm feeling, right? So I hurt some people just because I didn't know how to handle the emotional energy going on around me. And I think I would just tell myself, be a little bit more open to finding out why you do these things, you know, because it took me a while to start investigating into the reasons why it's happening. I knew that there was something off about it, but I didn't really investigate it until probably my mid-20s, you know, so be a little bit more open is what I would say to my 12-year-old me.
Yeah, I like that. Honestly, I think I would give my 12-year-old self everyone's advice. Seriously. Because I feel like it can be across the board. Huh?
I said I would probably whoop my 12-year-old self. She probably needs a whooping.
Quayla.
I'm just being honest. Because I had a lot of words. I had a lot of words and they weren't nice. Like when Ava was saying that she used to lash out on people, I don't think I lashed out, but I was very rude and mean. Like I still am a little bit, but I'm a little bit better. But I used to always have to be right. And I was mean sometimes. Yeah. She probably needed a whooping.
So question, if it maybe, right? Maybe she needed a whooping, but when you were being mean and rude, and I'm assuming guarded, right? What do you think she really needed besides a whooping?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Because I mean, I wasn't just being nasty to people just because. I really wasn't. I wasn't like a bully or somebody who's looking to be mean to somebody, because I don't like people like that.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna say I'm mean. I have a smart mouth. So whatever you say to me, I'm going to react in a way that there could have been a different way to respond. I didn't choose the better way.
I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I didn't choose the better way.
Yeah. So I feel like our generation, right, especially for the young girls, like I feel like there was this certain era where you had to be guarded, right? You had to be tough. And I can kind of attest to that. Like as a child growing up, I didn't like bullies, right? But if you tried to bully me, or if I felt violated, then I would probably, I want to say match your energy, but take it a step further. Like I would gut punch you intentionally, because it's like, don't laugh at me. Because it's like, don't mess with me. Mm-hmm. Like I had that kind of energy about me too. Like I'm not to be messed with. So if you, not that anybody slapped me. I did have fights, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just using this as an example. Yeah, this one girl, and we're friends now, and I'm so glad that she forgave me, but I'm gonna tell y'all one of my not so great stories. This one girl, I cannot remember what we argued about in the lunchroom, but we had a whole argument. I think she pushed me, right? And she was bigger than me. And so maybe I was supposed to be scared, but I wasn't. And so she was talking all this noise. And I remember I was like, I'm gonna get her. And I can't believe I'm saying this, y'all. I remember her coming down the hall after lunch, because we had the same class. And I just walked up to her, hauled off, and slapped her. And I'm like, yeah, don't ever mess with me again. Don't ever put your hands on me again. And she told. I didn't get in trouble though, because I'm like, she hit me first, so. But that's what I mean in terms of, she pushed me, and she didn't push me hard. It didn't hurt. I didn't fall. It was just like a little, but I'm like, no, you're not getting away with that. And so after we left the lunch room and we were headed to class, I just walked up to her and slapped her.
Mm-hmm. So you waited all that time just to go slap her?
I did. Because I had to think, I guess in my mind, I wanted to think of what would be a good way to pay her back. I had to marinate on it for me. I didn't want to just get into a whole tussle. I mean, but by this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna just slap her and then I'm gonna be ready to fight. But I just slapped her and she actually walked off. So kudos to her, because she walked off. She didn't take the fight. I've
never had a fight.
Yeah, girl. I've had plenty.
You haven't had a fight either, Ava?
No, I got close to one time, but I ended up pretty quickly. I think it was just because she basically was telling my crush at the time some shit about me, and I appreciate her for that. So I walked up to her during lunch and I told her about herself. And I told her she better not fuck around again, because it was going to come after her.
Or she was going to fuck around and find out.
She actually ended up sucking up to me for the rest of the year.
Aww.
But no, I haven't. And I hope I don't. Honestly, I really hope I don't get into the fight, because I'm one of those people who... first of all, it takes me a lot to get to that, to get me to that point of wanting to confront you. I'm a Pisces. We don't really like confrontation.
Yeah.
We do everything beforehand to try to avoid it. And, confrontation is kind of the last resort sometimes.
Gotcha.
But so, like if you piss me off and I get to the point where I'm really upset and angry to the point where I might want to fight your ass, like you done fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
if I say a cuss word, that means that I'm borderline almost there, because I don't even cuss like that. So if you hear me say a word, you probably need to just go ahead and back off, like, because you're taking me there.
Right. And I don't know, maybe I can thank my daddy for my mean. I have a mean look, like, when I get mad. So maybe people are just, I don't know. But thankfully,
she just believed you. You told her to fuck around and find out, and she said, "No, thank you." That's it.
Right.
I don't want no problems. I'm sorry.
Right.
No problem.
But
no problem.
No, when I do get angry, I get really angry. Like, I start shaking, and like I'm it's that point where it's like, all right, you're getting cussed out. You're getting cussed out good at this point. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, it takes a lot for me to get angry. I've been able to kind of tame the beast, so to speak, and I haven't been like very temperamental where I just look for fights or I easily go off. But I did grow up a little bit guarded. But now, I mean, I don't even want to tap into the dark side, because
like that.
You say what?
I said, you got a dark side like that?
Actually, yes, ma'am, I do. I really, really do. Even as a child, I mean, because where I grew up, it was normal to have a fight. And it was almost like a rite of passage in order to be inducted into the neighborhood, the environment. You had to know how to fight, sink or swim. And so I remember it was this one young lady I had a fight with. We used to always fight. We're more like family, but I don't want to go into all that.
Okay.
And I never started it. Okay. She couldn't stand me at that time. She did not like me. And I used to beat her up every single time, but she just kept coming. She's a tourist, so I guess that's to be expected. She just kept coming. She would not, every time I saw, it was like, it's on sight every time I see you. And she lived up to that. And she ate all them ass whoopings. I'm not gonna lie. She ate all of them. But this one last time, I remember I was so tired of fighting, because in my heart, I'm really not a fighter. I'm a lover. And I was just tired. I'm like, this is for what? It's a waste of time. I was 10 years old feeling like this. And so she just came at me. I think she had a friend or somebody that she was showing off in front of. And she was like, you see that B word right there? I don't like her. And then next thing you know, she was charging at me and we were fighting. And I was like, I'm going to kill her. In my mind, yeah, like that's the thought that came to my mind. And I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? When I reminisce about that, I'm like, to feel and think like that as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to access that part of my memory. I don't want to access that part of my brain anymore. Like, so I work really hard and I'm very intentional about not allowing people to provoke me to get to that point.
Right.
I take my power back because, I get scared about what thoughts will go through my head once I've crossed the threshold, once I get to the point of no longer caring, once I completely black out. I know that I can be a different person, and that person I don't want to be.
Period. Understandable.
Period.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, ladies, this has been really insightful. I mean, not just because of, talking about the advice that we would give to our 12-year-old selves,
right?
But also getting a little bit of insight into who we were back then.
Yeah.
Like, well, the headspace that we were in as preteens, like, I feel like being a preteen, 12 years old, that time in life is such an awkward stage.
Yeah.
I feel like it is for everybody. I can definitely speak for myself. It was awkward. It was, I don't know how to explain it. It was awkward. Like,
yeah,
your perception, the way that you view the world and everything is shifted, and you're around peers who, they all have their own awkward ways of handling things and doing things. Yeah. And you're coming into yourself, your body's changing, like, so much is happening. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, at 12 years old, I was definitely in my head a lot, trying to figure things out. I actually preferred to be at school. I didn't really like being at home. Like I didn't really felt seen at home. I kind of felt like the black sheep in my family for like a long time. You know, it was but then when I was at school, you know, it was peer pressure and trying to fit in, you know, and trying to express yourself in different ways. And it was
definitely weird. I agree with you 100% on that. Yep. It was weird, you know. And I guess in a way, I don't want to say it's supposed to be, but I guess it's normal for it to be weird because you're transitioning from a young child to now a young adult. And you have to figure out what that looks like for you every single year.
Right. And honestly, though, I feel like if our 12-year-old selves could see us, if they could glance into the future and see who we are now, they'd be really proud.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm. Pat on the back.
Fist pump. Fist pump my 12-year-old self. Mama, we made it.
Yes, right.